In Bayelsa State, the All Progressives Congress is facing its own internal problems. The party had earlier suspended two prominent figures, Heineken Lukwebiri, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, and David Leon, a former governorship candidate. The hammer fell on these two over what the party described as anti-party activities. However, the suspensions have been met with fierce opposition. Key APC stakeholders have condemned the decision, calling it illegal. They argued that due process was not followed. They also say this is a part of a wider attempt to sideline influential members of the party. Arise Bayelsa State correspondent Ovieteme George joins me now on the program. Ovieteme has been monitoring developments in Bayelsa State. Thank you for joining us, Ovieteme.
Thank you, Constance.
Right. Okay, so you were in Bayelsa State earlier today. Can you bring us up to speed with what's going on? What's the latest?
Well, it appears a gale of suspensions is flying here, there, and everywhere around the opposition political party in Bayelsa State. While the PDP has so much to worry about at the national, at the sub-national, Bayelsa is feeling the heat, but not the PDP, the APC. Two high-profile politicians you mentioned earlier, Heineken Lukwebiri and David Leon. But just yesterday, former Deputy Governor and former Speaker of the Bayelsa House of Assembly, Werini Perese Barugu, was also suspended by the Yenagoa members of that party, that is the local government area. The same for Southern Ijo. Well, it appears they actually went to the Secretariat today for a ratification of the suspensions. The executive sat, but that did not happen because there were interventions by high-profile members of the political party and others, which we may call stakeholders, saying, hold on, let's go through the process and see if this ratification can still take place. But that did not take place earlier today. There was actually tension with heavy security presence at the Secretariat. That has been eased now. Just a few policemen to restore sanity. But I tell you, this is more like a political contest, a leadership contest, if you like. Now, both factions may not agree with me, but I am neutral here, and I can tell you it is the jostle for the leadership of the party that is the issue right now for the APC in Bayelsa State. After Governor Doyediri won a re-election that is next 4 years more at Creek Haven, so the APC has so much to contend with, more of an internal crisis within its ranks.
Okay, we understand that there is also a sort of power struggle between the former Governor Timipre Silva and the Minister of Petroleum Resources, Oil, Heineken Lukwebiri. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, I got wind of that bit of tension when the Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Oil, Senator Heineken Lukwebiri, alongside David Leon and other members of the party, including the Nembe Brass Federal Constituency former representative in the House of Representatives, Israel Sanigol, visited the governor of Bayelsa State, Doyediri. Now, this was during the period of the hunger protest in Nigeria, where the PDP and the APC had a common front that protests shouldn't take place, speaking to the citizens not to embark on any protest, rather to exercise patience. When Heineken visited Governor Doyediri, he said something quite profound. As far as my memory serves, he said, in a state where there is no governor in the ruling class, the minister becomes the leader of the party. In other words, Heineken was saying himself was the leader of the party. Now, that is left for the APC and political pundits to decipher. But that means he has already assumed leadership of the party. But there are others who do not actually agree with him. Predictably, the camp of the former governor of the state and immediate past Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Chief Timipre Silva. And then they believe that Silva is the leader of the party. And the others are saying, no, Heineken is the most senior at the moment because he is a 7th minister in the cabinet of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So predictably is a leadership tussle. Who is the leader of the party? Constance, you may answer that.
Okay, finally and briefly, Obiateme, how does this change the dynamics of politics in Bayelsa?
Simple, very simple and quite simple. Where the old age adage comes into play here, when two elephants fight, the grass suffers. Where there is a division, quite naturally, members of the party may be looking elsewhere for succor. Now look at it. The PDP is more like seated happily waiting to harvest from the crisis of the APC, just as the APC is doing so at the national level where the PDP has all these issues. So, building up now, I think what is a major activity that will be coming up for the APC would be sometime in March, as far as my memory serves, next year. That is the conduct of the ward congresses. If the APC do not put its house in order, then there would be crisis. Many think the crisis has not really begun because both sides are not willing to shift ground. But the failure of the ratification of the suspension earlier today portends one thing. There is room for reconciliation. There is room for dialogue. The leaders of both parties should keep their egos aside, meet at the negotiation table, talk, and see how they can project a united front ahead of the governorship election in the state. But first, it would be the World Congresses sometime in March next year.
Right.
Can the center hold for them? I don't know.
Okay, thank you so much, Obiateme. Just will have to leave it there. Thank you for a wonderful report.